Okay, so today we're working on the 2006 Hummer H3, and today we're changing the hose for the power steering. Mine cracked, so I needed to change the whole thing. So before starting the job, here are the tools that you will need because you may get in a hell of a lot of problem if you don't. So you'll need crowbar, hammer, you'll need the 1" and 1/8 wrench with the 5/8 wrench. You'll need 13 millimeter deep socket or just sockets. You'll need at least 1/4 inch ratchet with an extension and a 10 millimeters. Then you don't really need something really big. As long as you got a 13, you should be fine. And penetrating oil. And of course, vice grip, and you may need a hose cutter. And here I'm going to show usually what is the problem with the H3 from my experience. So I already removed the skid plates, and what I want to show is on the cross. If you look right here, we got two brackets that hold the two lines in place, and usually this bracket breaks down over time and start digging. And as you can see, this is where it all exploded and it just did a mess. So yeah, usually it's those O's. So if you're ordering the parts, you can get the O's split apart, two O's for a cheaper price, or you can get the combination of both O's and it's gonna cost double just because it comes with a bracket. It's really up to you. I suggest still having the brackets if possible. Just make sure you got all the small O-rings to do the replacement. And here we go. So, first thing we're gonna do, remove the two skid plates that I already removed over there. So the skid plates are all in place. If you look at where your hooks are, just go down. There's one bolt here. Second one is over there. Then if you go to the cross, you'll get one around here. A second one right there, and over there where you see the wrench, it's because that bolt for me has a nut, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same for you guys. So for that last one, for the last skid plate, you will have no choice but to remove it, and the other bolt's going to be in that corner. To do this job, I highly suggest using a jack with candles and lift it up so you get more space to be able to do the job. And from there you can use your penetrating oil to lube the whole thing. But yeah, just so you know, the skid plates are pretty heavy, so just be careful not to make it land on your hand. Same thing for the back one. So the way it's made, one of them is going to be connected like that and the other one like this. So you see one bolt there, one bolt here, one over there, and we got the two in the back corner, right? Oh, and I forgot, you see, the other ones are there. So, okay, so the first thing we're gonna do, once the skid plates have been removed, you will use a pan, oil pan or something, just to put under the cross, and I'll show you exactly where you need to put your pan. So pretty much in line between those two parts, just between the cross and the cover right there, and the whole thing is going to drip from between them right here. So that's why I got rags, just to catch up whatever it's left. There was pretty much nothing left in mine. So once you install your pan, the next part will be to drop back the car because you want to have access to the hose that's going to be located at the bottom right there. So I'll remove this. So the first hose can be removed by using a pair of vice grip and clamping that little clamp right there. But you will need a screwdriver to reach the top part of that hose and pry it at the same time as you're clamping that clip. And this will help you out to slide it down. After this is done, I highly suggest to use your penetrating oil because we will remove the hose that is connected to the pump. So the hose is connected to the pump. That's my hose, but I cut it. So it's connected right here. You see where my finger is? So right there, you will need to slide a 15 mm wrench to get the top of that pipe. For me, the problem is, I'm going to show you, there is a connector connected to the pump. And this is the part of the hose, the 15. So what happened when I tried to twist it, the nut over the hose was completely seized. So the whole thing tried to turn with the hose. So I had no choice to cut it off with my cutter. So you can use whatever you need if you really need to cut it. That's why I suggest using a lot of penetrating oil to prevent having to do that. So once this is cut, if the whole thing was turning, don't cut it before you see the whole hose trying to turn with it. Cut it off. This whole thing's going to turn. Then you will need to use a 1 inch and 1/8 wrench. And here I'm using a longer 5/8 wrench. So what I do, when you got them attached like this, you will do a pressure with your finger to try to turn it downward. So the hose side needs to go down to unscrew it. Okay, I don't want you to force on the wrong side. So if it's like this, as you can see, you make the pressure downward. And this should disconnect that part, and you should be fine afterward. Just gonna... So if you look at it like this, there's a small O-ring right there. Just make sure it's clean before reinstalling. And remember to remove the old part. So there you go. So this needs to be screwed back in place under that pump and make sure it's tight before reinstalling the whole thing. So you're done with everything that's on top. Now you can lift back the Hummer, put back your candles, give you back some space, and we will use the 1/4 inch ratchet with the 10 mm. So it doesn't matter which bracket to remove first, but right here, I'm going to show you, it's going to be really hard, but right here, you will need to fit the ratchet over top, like so. And as you can see, you don't get a lot of space. So I highly suggest coming from the side of the battery, so you'll be able to spin it to unscrew that 10 mm that's located right there. I think you can see it. I'm just gonna, right there. That's your 10. So you need to unscrew that with the 10 mm. Then we will come to the other side. And we will do this same thing. Where is the bracket? Right there. So you see, if we're looking like this, oil filter is right there. Check in line pretty much with the connectors. And it's right over there. So you will need to come in between here and get it from the top and untwist it. It should turn pretty easily. Make sure to lube it up. This is going to help you out. The last 10 mm is located right there. You see that silver dot over there? So to reach that 10, we will now need this quarter inch ratchet, and we will come from the top like so and reach it like this. You see how I am? So that only gives you a few inches to work to be able to turn it. It's gonna take a little time. You're gonna get pissed, you're gonna get mad, but try to take your time, bring a coffee, and you should be fine. There is no way to access it from the other side of the cross, sadly, so you got no choice to do it from this side. If you look at it, I don't know if you can see, let's look at my shadow and not my finger. The bracket on the left got a plate attached to it. Well, the hose on the left got a bracket attached to it. And what it does, it comes from the top and clamp the right hose. Wait, I'm trying to zoom. There it is. It comes and connects over the top and pin the hose in place. So you'll need a screwdriver or that pry bar with a hammer and try to unnotch it from that side to make it turn upward and rotate it. So I'm going to show you on the other part. Whoop. So it's connected like this. So you'll need to twist it upward to disconnect to be able to remove the hose on the right side and remove the hose on the left side. You can actually try to pull both of them together at the same time, but it's up to you. So it's easier usually to remove it when it's installed, but you don't really need to do that. After this is done, we will reinstall all the hose, come back from the top, install the hose, try to get him in place, and reinstall that. That's going to be the trickiest part to do. So what you need to do is place the hose with the pipe first, with the bracket first. Put in line the secondary hose and try to push that bracket as much as possible with your finger. And from here, you can, if you got somebody with you at least, you can come with the pry bar, look in line with the carburetor, what I'm talking about, the alternator, and there's that coolant hose. And if you look, I'll try to see if we can spot it from here. I'm trying to get the light in line. I don't know if you see the shining dot at the bottom. So the plate is right over there. I'm trying to see if I can put myself in a better position to actually sit properly and give you really a good idea where it is. So you really need to focus around that corner over there. It's hard to see, but it's over there. Ask somebody to guide you from the bottom. Slide that pry bar from the top, put it over it. Ask the other person to hold it in place with something to protect their hands. Give a good tap or two over with an hammer, and it should slide in place. From there, really easy, we will reconnect the pump. We will reconnect the reservoir with the hose and the clip. Make sure to save that clip if it's good, to use it on the new one. Sometimes they don't come with it. And then you can start refilling. When you start refilling, ask somebody to start the vehicle, start dumping your steering fluid, and just make sure you stay on top of things. Don't put too much, but don't let it go dry as much as possible. There are a few videos, I believe, that shows how to drain and actually make sure you do it properly. For me, the most important part was how to remove them and reinstall them. And like I'm telling you, I had to cut it off, as you can see right there. And before doing the job, make sure you got those tools. Because if you don't have a vice grip, the right size to hold that connector to the pump, and you don't have the 1 1/8 wrench or a pair of vice grip that's big enough to hold it, you're gonna be in a hell lot of problem with a car that cannot be driven at all. So yeah, that could be problematic. Make sure you got the right parts. And if you've been following my YouTube channel for a while, I've been having problem getting those parts for a real long time because they were not sending the right ones. So make sure you got the right ones before starting the job. Make sure that your candles are well installed. And as you can see, I always keep my jack as a secondary safety. So the candles are installed and I keep a bit of pressure on the jack just to make sure if one candles fall, the jack's going to prevent the whole thing to land on me, and put something behind the wheels to prevent the car from backing up. On this, it's a bit short, it's a bit fast, but I believe this will be good enough to help you out and actually do the job pretty quickly. So yeah, I hope it helps out, and I hope to see you guys around. See ya.